and welcome once again to Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pollock, your host for this evening, and with me to my right, your left, is Donna Lamb. We'll be talking about water issues today, and I thought I'd add a little color to the set here. And what do we have here? Oh, it's empty. That's because they're not open yet.
Yeah.
We've been promoting these folks lately at Little Caesars, hot and ready pizza. They'll be in town, and they're in town, and they'll be open on Wednesday. Is their first full day of operation. So there's a new pizza in town, folks.
Hot and ready.
Hot and ready. I'll do anything.
Yeah. Magic tricks.
Yeah. But I've been talking to Diane. She's one of the owners over there. They're real nice people. And they're right behind CVS over there in the Albertsons Plaza.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
Near
by the
Japanese
fitness place and Japanese.
Right next door to the fitness place. You know where it's
Okay.
at. So
Great.
you can have some pizza and then go to the fitness place afterwards.
Alrighty. Yeah, work it off.
So anyway, I started out with 4 balloons, and I only have 3. And one of them, it's up there near the space station right now. It got out. It got out.
Left the atmosphere.
It didn't want to come on the show tonight. So Wednesday they'll be open for business, and Little Caesars, there's a new pizza in town.
Congratulations.
Yes. All right, let's talk about water. Water. You're the water lady in town, the water goddess.
No, thank you.
Yeah. I've done a lot with the different things that I've done. The wellhead protection. I did a lot of surveying for Tom Bucco. When Bob Wilcoxon got sick, I took over for him. I surveyed this whole darn valley. I went to Amargosa, did that one also. And the end result from that report we have, was it 2004, 2006?
I think it was, seems like it was 04.
04. Okay, and then we had whatever issues we had there, which were kind of minimal, and people had concerns at the time. We had grant money. Was that through the Southern Nye County Conservation
It was through
District?
Southern Nye County for the septic tank testing to make sure there was no contamination.
People had concerns then. People forget about these reports. They're out there. The same questions come up. Those who forget the past are destined to relive it.
To repeat it, yes.
If you ever go to town board meeting, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But anyway, the new studies, the new reports that'll be out from the NWRPO, which is the Nuclear Waste Project
Office.
Office. Yeah,
Nuclear Waste Repository Project Office.
Right. If you go to their site, it's on the Nye County website. You can find all the information that you ever wanted if you know where to look. I went there today. I had some time. I was at the library. Issues with water quality, the amount of water, where it's going, and I also found this lady, what's her name?
Lisa Comartin.
Comartin did a thesis for her master's degree. It's called The Development of a Groundwater Flow Model of Pahrump Valley, Nye County, Nevada, and Inyo County, which we share a basin with them for basin scale water resource management. And this is a very large report, most are theses.
Excellent report.
Yes, so if you want to find out everything you want to know but we're afraid to ask, it's online, but maybe if we link it through the different websites too, rather than the NWRPO, make it a little bit easier.
Actually, that's a really good idea because the Nye County Water District is working on their own website right now to get more information out to the public, and that would be a great place to post that. It's on the Water District site.
And it would be less traffic to get to that link.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like much more direct, which is our plan.
So people have been asking me, I know you can't answer these questions, but there's issues with, people think there are more things in our water than there actually are. Higher arsenic, lead, PCBs, whatever. People may put their rumors out there, but the fact that if we want to say yes or no, we have to find out the information and put it online from the testing.
Right.
And that will be happening in the future through what you're doing and what Levi Kreider is doing with the NWRPO.
Right.
They've got 5 sampling wells in the Pahrump Valley, and they had some money given to them by the Department of Energy. And what they're doing, they're looking for tritium, strontium, noble gases, and other things, selected isotopes. So they have 5 wells located in the Pahrump Valley here. And water quality, here's what from the report. Water chemistry information for Pahrump Valley is being evaluated to determine where spatial and or temporal gaps exist. Plans for sampling analysis of springs and wells in Pahrump Valley are also being developed to augment and expand the existing data set. They're working also with the Desert Research Institute.
DRI.
Right. So there are things that are in the works right now to identify what's in the water. And
well, you know, too, when we did the study through the Southern Nye County Conservation District, we did it specifically to see if there were any contaminants from septic tanks. So they checked for coffee and, you know, things that would only be there through a septic tank. And as I recall, there was only 2 areas in the valley, and it was a pretty comprehensive. I think we did about 200 wells or more.
yeah.
A lot of wells, and it was valley-wide, and there was only 2 areas that they got high hits on nitrates. One of them was, of course, near the dairy, and the other one was much further south, and they figured that was naturally occurring because of the rocks and, you know, the subsurface geology. So at the time, there was no arsenic or anything that was detected that I'm aware of.
Right, any levels that would be
harmful.
harmful to us. But the fact is, we don't have the figures in front of us. What we would like to do, hopefully in the future, is the sampling wells, and I have one that they put right down.
Oh, that's right down the street from you, huh?
I say, hey, what are you doing down there? And they're putting it in the front part of their property. I said, you can't do that. Who's going to live there?
Hide that well. You know?
Then I realized it was a sampling well, and in the future, we'll hopefully have all the whatever's in the water that we're asking for.
Tested for.
Not necessarily tritium or strontium or things like that, but other things that we're concerned about for daily life. Since I live down the street from that, I'm perfectly content. Look at me, I look relatively healthy.
Yeah, I was going to say, how convenient for you. It's like a half a block away, so you'll know the quality of your water.
Right, I was asking for years and years, and, you know, how do I get somebody to sample my well?
It, yeah.
And I put one down the street that I didn't even ask for. So I'm real happy with that, and I'm real happy with the level of the water, because it seemed to have come up a little bit, and there's no immediate problem with the water levels going down.
In your area?
In certain areas in the valley, the water levels are going up. We've had artesian wells starting up that hadn't been going some years ago. I was looking at some of the information from, I think it was her paper, that we had the drought some years ago, and then the amount of water that we were recouping, it just seemed to have shot up the last couple of years.
Well, with the '05 floods, you know, and then here recently this last January, we had some heavy precip also.
Right, so don't flood your gardens or anything. We're still in the desert.
We're still in the desert, and I'd like to point out too that a lot of those artesian wells that are coming up are along the alluvial fan. There's like sand and gravel going up the alluvial fan, and as soon as it hits the clay valley, it slows way down. So as a matter of fact, that's why it's pushing up along the alluvial fan, is because it's hitting that clay layer. So most of the valley, I know where I live, they've been monitoring my well for, oh my gosh, 15 years or more, and it is steadily declining. So that's out at the south end. And there are other areas where there's not so many people, so many wells, and those areas are coming back up a little. So
in retrospect, the slowdown has been good for the water.
It's been good
levels.
For the yes.
Maybe not for our pocketbooks, but it alleviated some of the problems that we were really staring at.
Yeah, and what it's doing is it's giving us a little chance to regroup and start working on conservation.
Maybe doing something right.
Yeah, exactly.
Not necessarily putting in a water park, a theme park.
Yeah, I don't think we need a water park here.
So anyway, that's another story for a different day.
Yes.
But so you're on what board?
Oh, currently?
The one that we're concerned about.
Yeah. Well, the Nye County Water District Governing Board, and
who's in charge of that? Midge?
Well, Midge is the chair right now.
Midge
She is
Carter.
the chair, and we have help, of course, from the Nuclear Waste Repository Office. They provide our secretarial, we have an agreement with the county that they provide some of the services for us. They get paid for that, of course, through our funding, which, we did finally get the $5 per parcel fee.
Okay,
And so for the cost of a cup of Java from from one of those fancy coffee places, no advertising, no free advertising here, but for the cost of a cup of coffee, you get a whole board and associated personnel working on the water issues here.
So maybe we could expect that you'd say something about, hey, how about let's test for these issues, the water quality issues.
Water quality, yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely on the radar. And that will be in our future, is testing for water quality.
And your next meeting will be, if anybody's interested,
Next Monday,
is it July 25th?
the 25th, yes, next Monday. Very
Yeah,
good.
We wrote it down.
Yeah, that's our next meeting. And I'd like to say that, very seldom do we get audience at the meetings. I mean, there's usually maybe one or two people there besides the press. So it would really be nice if people would come out and see some of the issues that we're dealing with, and, instead of, just yelling about they don't want to pay $5 a year, they could actually come and find out what some of these issues are.
So I spoke, I put my 2 cents worth last time I was there. I was actually looking for Cheryl Beeman from the WRPO. She's my secretary from another board. So I wound up sitting there for the most
For
of
the whole meeting.
Yeah. And then when public comments came up, okay, I'll put my 2 cents worth in.
Yeah.
Trying to tell Midge and the rest of the board how better to get your brand out there, let people know who you are, and to meet the people also.
Yep,
So
more
hopefully,
publicity.
yeah. So she wrote that down, and some of the thoughts are maybe you can have a presence at the Fall Fair and Festival.
We're definitely talking about that. We're talking about public workshops also,
Right.
To let people know what we're doing, what we're working on, which I think is a really good idea. And of course, the website is another initiative on our part to get more information readily accessible to the public.
Because we're also on this other public education and outreach sub-team.
Yep.
So that's some of the issues that we have, is coordinate with the Nye County Water District Governing Board for setting up an outreach workshop.
Yep.
So there's a lot that's in the works to, as they say in big government, to be more transparent. They're wearing their word out, but just to be out there to let you know what we're doing, so you don't think we're in cahoots with anybody else in Nye County here. Not that anybody would be.
Well, we're here to protect the water resources of the whole county, not just Pahrump.
Right. Even though we're in a good time right now, it's the droughts would come back, and we're in the desert.
Yeah.
And hopefully we won't do something stupid like just making big lakes. It's big enough that Lakeside has the big lake over there. It's nice that it's there.
Yeah.
We don't think about what's called evapotranspiration,
Which
because
is
they have to keep
huge.
adding water to it because it evaporates because of the dry air.
Yeah.
There's another.
I have a statistic on that if you want to hear it.
Well,
In a desert area, a 1 acre lake will transpire between 5 and 8 acre feet per year. An acre foot is 325,000 gallons approximately. So 5 times that amount is the minimum that lake will, evaporate in a year's time in a desert climate. That's substantial. It's a lot of water. I hesitate to say going up in smoke. It's really going up in evapotranspiration, but that's substantial loss of water. So yeah, I don't think any more big lakes are, going to be happening in Pahrump.
well, you're cooling the area too. That's the theory. That's what a swamp cooler works on too.
Is the
hot-
evapotranspiration.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the same principle, but you're using it to cool your homes. Also on the website, here's my favorite JPEG, the picture of the.
It's a great little graphic. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
if
in
they can
color. I've
see
showed it through the years, but you could find this, and it shows you the way the water flows from the Spring
Charleston.
Mountains.
Spring
And it
Mountain.
comes through Pahrump Valley here. It shows you the alluvial, it shows you evapotranspiration, the alluvial, the carbonate, and you go through the Nopaz, which is on the west side of town. Then you go through Chicago Valley, and then you go into Resting Springs, and then you get down to Amargosa River Valley. And then then you go to Death Valley from there. So this is like the Bible to me. This is the way the water flows. It goes from east to west.
From high to low. From high to low.
Right. So you can find this on the website also. This is from the USGS back in '86. It's a cross-section through Prump Valley and the different valleys going west of us. We should put this there. This is another website. Yeah, that should
be on there too.
Yeah.
And speaking of how the water's flowing and the low end of the system, the Amargosa Conservancy is right about in the middle of conducting a whole bunch of tests. We just completed a State of the Basin report for the lower Amargosa, which identified all the springs and seeps and everything that flows into the Amargosa River. And then the next phase of that, which we're working on right now, is to take chemistry samples. And from those chemistry samples, they're going to be able to tell how old the water is, how long it's been underground, what the origin of the water is. And that's going to put a lot of theories to rest because it will be actually fact about where the water's coming from and where it's going to. So I'm really, really excited about that. We're smack in the middle of it right now. And
yeah, because like Devil's Hole, I believe that's called ancient water. That's been there for
they're thinking
centuries.
that that's pretty old water, yeah. So anyhow, these tests will tell us a whole lot about where it's coming from, where it's going, and how long it's been there. So that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, because folks, a lady asked me last week issues about water quality, and unfortunately, last week the person that was involved with water quality was at a seminar in San Diego, and then most of Nye County was off on Friday.
That's right, furlough days,
off, So we're coming back up to speed. So what they want to do, they want to have public workshops, they want to have public outreach. This is public outreach here, so we'll have Levi back on.
Yep.
He's been here before to identify what he's been doing, but we'll ask him to go in maybe a little bit different direction, because I've told him before from other people that they have some issues with arsenic, and he was unaware that if they are as bad as these people say. So he's got the information, and he's got the experts behind him. Beck Environmental, I work with them. I work with Daryl Lacey, the NWRPO, work with you, and you work with me. Environmental, the Prump Nuclear Waste and Environmental Advisory Board. So this is what we do because it's fun and we like it, and we give back to the community. This one we give back to the community because we care about the community. Yeah, I have friends and family and kids that live here. So and that's why I was on the Community Advisory Board for the Nevada Test Site Programs for 6 years, and to make sure that I knew everything about the Nevada Test Site and where that water was going to, and naturally it's not coming here. The only issues with that is up in Oasis Valley from Paiute Mesa, but there's no connection between the Nevada Test Site and our basin here. We're going in different directions. We're sort of a little bit side stream, not really upstream, but side stream from it. So that's not an issue. So I was, I spent 6 years. I did low-level waste too. I was on a different. Well, it's probably not an issue for us here in Prump, but it might be an issue for the people in Oasis Valley and Beatty, and that's another story altogether. And that's why the DOE has the workshops over there, public workshops, maybe 2 or 3 times a year to keep them informed of what's going on. And the CAB, as they call it themselves something else now, so they still have issues that they're looking at, like the water issues, where the water is flowing to, because they've been. The wells were started when we were there. The DOE said, we'll drill a certain amount of wells to see where the water is going with the tritium, if there is flow. So we got them started. The plume. Flume, the flume, right. You're thinking about the water, right. But anyway, so Donna, myself, and there's plenty of other experts that have been here for many years, and that if you have concerns, let us know. And if we can't answer it for you, we'll find out who can. Either through BEC, through the NWRPO, the USGS, the federal EPA, the state EPA, Nye County Water District. And since you mentioned the whole test site and all of that, also Yucca Mountain. For a lot of years there was a lot of money funneled through from Yucca Mountain to do a lot of testing for quality, for quantity, water levels and all that.
Well, all of that funding went away. So now the Nye County Water District is doing their best to help to promote that kind of research. So some of the money that we'll be collecting will be going towards that. And
Right,
they're
'cause-
also getting grants and other sources of
Yeah,
funding.
because they sort of give you an allowance to get you started, and now that you've grown,
Yep.
you have to go out on your own and make the dollar. So
Yes, we do.
that
you
money
know.
was there as seed money, as they call it, and now
Startup, yeah.
So the reason why they're asking you're getting the $5 per
Per
parcel
parcel fee, yeah.
is to
That's-
keep this going, because we're going to have to look at conservation in the future with the state of Nevada.
Absolutely, and you know, there's one other kind of important thing I'd like to touch on, and that is that the state water engineer, Division of Water Resources, he basically has the power and the authority here. We have to have a conservation plan, or he can literally come in here and tell us what to do and what wells can be drilled and what can't. So we're trying our best to be very proactive and getting it together so that we don't have to have the state engineer come in and regulate us, which we don't want.
You didn't find anything about the water rights, did you?
No,
No,
I have
okay.
not. I did speak with Mark Wade about it, and he is researching it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it may be much to do about nothing.
It may be.
Hopefully.
Hopefully,
We didn't lose those water rights.
yeah, hopefully.
Because it's 4 or 5 years, you have to prove up your water rights,
to
which is stupid.
Prove beneficial
in
use.
a drought.
Yeah.
And then you waste a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
You grow up a crop that you can't use, just so you use the water.
Yeah.
And then you get it for another 4 or 5 years, right?
Right. So, yeah, waste of water is not a good thing. There are other ways to tackle this, you know, so.
But we haven't tackled it, and I know you tried very hard for a few years.
Yeah, we actually did get a change to the water law. It wasn't exactly what I asked for, but the state water engineer at the time, Hugh Ritchie,
Okay.
did agree to put drought in the law as a reason for not farming. So that's at least, you still have to file for an extension. What I wanted is for them to stop the clock during years of, you know,
Drought.
really serious
Serious drought,
drought.
yes.
They didn't do that, but they came close by at least adding it as a reason for an extension. So that's important to know.
Yes. Government's hard to budge.
Man, I'll tell you, you know, they definitely want to collect those annual, you know, fees for filing extensions, that's for sure.
Definitely.
So,
that was another thing that the DRI has been doing too, that with the water quality, they're looking at doing a
evapotranspiration.
study also with the water characteristic and water quality protection. That's part of what they're doing also.
You know, a lot of people might not know what evapotranspiration is.
Basically, it's with plants. That's where it comes from. How much that they transpire, that they
Right.
like if we're plants, how much
Yeah.
we would sweat.
Sweat, yeah, basically, which also brings us to the whole idea of removing tamarisk. And hopefully
Tamarisk.
by now people know that it is a huge water consumer and it's extremely invasive. And we've done our best to get rid of as much as we can around here, but some voluntary action on the part of people in the valley would definitely help.
You don't want to water it because they can find enough water by themselves. They have a
Yeah.
deep tap root. They will also they're very territorial. They emit a salty substance.
Right,
Nothing else can grow around them, so
yeah.
they don't have
And
to fight for the territory.
it's amazing, but a mature tamarisk tree can transpire between 200 and 300 gallons of water a day out of our water table. They just suck it right up from the water table and it evaporates in the air. So definitely a plant that you want to be aware of. And
So down is it Wilson Street over there, the southern edge of the old Binion property,
oh yeah,
the fence line over there. Those are athels,
those are athels.
but it's the same. It's a cousin,
It's a cousin,
and
but
they drink. Just
they
as
drink
badly.
a lot, but they're not as invasive as
Right.
tamarisk.
They don't move as much.
They don't. They may send up little sprouts right where they're at, but tamarisk, you know, they have all those beautiful pink flowers that fly all over the valley, and anywhere where there's water and they can get a foothold, they will grow. So they're extremely invasive. Got to get rid of those buggers.
What's it called? Cut stump removal.
Garland, you have to
Cut it down to the
treat
stump
them. Cut it down and treat it with Garland, which is
immediately.
Yeah, it's gotta
because
be
it seals
immediately.
itself, and you may have to redo the garland the second year also because.
Yes, that's what we're finding out is that it usually takes 2 treatments.
And the best way to do it, they ask you to do, is mechanically remove it, and that's with heavy equipment.
Big old, they call it a track hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like who's got the money to hire a track hoe?
Right, right. Geez, we got 2 minutes left only?
Holy cows.
That's
went
what the salt
fast.
cedars would do. Hey, I got this also for, remember Jack Saunders?
Oh, yeah.
The Jack Saunders Family Winery on August 27th. Though we'll talk about more of this on the news in the days to come. Saturday, August 27th, there's going to be a family comedy show and barbecue featuring live comedy by the Comedy Machine. So it's $30 a person at Jack's new winery.
Which is beautiful.
It's on, what is that, Hickok?
Kellogg.
Kellogg. It's on Kellogg, right next to the what could have been Groponics.
Oh, yeah,
Or
the
it-
Squaw Valley Park. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
For tickets, call 775-209-3752. And
Little shout out to Jack if you're watching.
yeah,
you know,
Jack's a cool dude.
He's a very cool guy, and
Yeah.
Jack is one of the few people that was actually here in Pahrump before I arrived.
Okay.
So he's been
Yeah,
here
he's
a
got
long
a great
time.
reputation. Yeah. Family comedy show. They have wine tasting, Western barbecue, and World War II marksmanship contest.
Oh, interesting.
So, sounds dangerous.
I don't know, but it is a beautiful facility. So
Yes.
something to check out. And I guess they're having the PV Pack Art and Soul is going to be at Jack's Winery this year also.
Very good.
So that's nice.
Remember Wednesday, there's new pizza in town, hot and ready.
Hot and ready.
So, thank you for watching. Thank you, Donna.
Yes, thank you, John.
And we'll see you July 25th at the workshop, the water workshop.
Oh, and we might tell people it's in the Nye County Commissioners' Chambers, right there on the Calvada I. So come on down.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you, Jeff. Good night, folks.
Good night.